If you ever think about me, and if you think about me, niggas, and if you ain't gonna do no revolutionary act, forget about me. I don't want myself on your mind if you're not gonna work for the people. Like we always said, if you actually make a commitment at the age of 20, and you say, I don't want to make that commitment only because of the simple reason that I'm too young to die, I want to live a little bit longer, what you did already. I might be in jail, I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said, with the last words on my lips, that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
In order for us to understand the laws of the classroom, we have to understand how the school system and the education system lied to us historically, educationally, financially, historically, and nutritionally. The school system does not have your best hand, because you know why? They lied to you. They told you Christopher Columbus discovered America. That was a lie. You know who discovered America? We did. We discovered America. We discovered America. But they gonna tell you that you came from nothing, but you was a slave. You was not no slave, bro. You was not a slave. You was not a slave. They lied to you nutritionally. They told you, oh, eating breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You're not even supposed to be eating 3 times a day. You're not even supposed to be eating 3 times a day. If you're not even supposed to be eating 3 times a day, what did they tell you? What did the school system tell you? What did the education system tell you? And let's not even forget about how bad the food is. Let's not even forget how bad the food is. Have y'all ever tasted some bad school food before, bro? I've tasted. I can't even walk into the lunchroom at one time. I can't even do it. I was like this the entire time. The entire time, bro. The entire time. Yeah, but we gotta understand how they lied to us nutritionally, because they want us dead for real. That's what they want us. They want us dead, in jail, or at work. Cause you know who created the school system? John D. Rockefeller. And John D. Rockefeller said out his own mouth, he wanted to have a nation of workers, not thinkers. So if he could say that, and that's the guy who made the education system, what do you think was going on right now? What do you really think was going on right now? How you can't even think for yourself no more, because every time you think for yourself, you gotta go to school or you gotta go to work. Once you leave school, guess where you gotta go? Work. Don't you see? Don't you see? School prepares you for the 9-to-5 job system. They have you sitting in a chair from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That's 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. You go to work at 9 a.m. and leave work at 5 p.m. It's no coincidence that school has the same amount of time as the work system. It's no coincidence. No coincidence at all. It's a reason, because they prepare you, just like I said, he wanted a nation of workers, not thinkers. That same guy that said he wanted a nation of workers, not thinkers, that's the same guy. That's the same thing. So they lied to you financially because they don't want you thinking. They don't want you thinking. They want you slaving for a job, a 9-to-5 job system. Now you can put that same amount of time you are putting in working for another man and for another company. You can be putting that same hours and that same job into yourself. Into yourself. But you would rather work a job and slave for a job? No. No. So not only did they lie to you financially, they lied to you scientifically, genetically, biologically, and physically. It's a reason why they'll never teach you the truth about genetics. Nope. And if you actually took the time to study genetics, the stuff that they teach you in school is basic. Basic. It's very, very basic. It's not even near the information you'll learn actually studying genetics within yourself. Not even near. Not even near. Let me give you an example of genetics. You know how at school they said, oh, if your dad has brown eyes, guess what you're gonna have? You're gonna have brown eyes too. No. No. Yeah, it works like that, but it's way more complex, way more advanced than that. Just like I said, school taught the school system that taught genetics is very basic. Very basic. Very basic. They even lie to you biologically. They lie to you biologically because they don't want you studying nature and studying the sun. See, we really come from the sun, but they taught you the stuff that let me just say it like this. The stuff that they taught you in science, in school, is basic. Very, very basic. Very basic. Very, very basic. I say the school system is a setup from the jump. Because you know why the school system is a setup from the jump? Because you have to worry about, as soon as you go in the school system, you have to worry about going to special education because your learning ability is different from everybody else. So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, right? So you're going to tell me a student at the age of 6 years old is supposed to be sitting around in a desk for 6 hours a day? Does that make any sense? No. A 6-year-old is supposed to be running around playing, not sitting around learning. He's supposed to be running around chilling. But y'all put him in this system to where he has a so-called learning disability, when really he just learns differently from all the other students in the classroom. So now you're willing to put him in a whole nother classroom full of kids that can't think for themselves, when that kid can really think for himself. He just has he just learns differently from the other students. That's messed up, bro. That's messed up. Completely messed up. Completely messed up. Completely messed up. I'm telling you, the school system is a setup from the jump, bro. It's a setup from the jump. It's a setup. It's a setup. And also, did you know that we're not even supposed to be sitting in a chair for 8 hours a day? Did you know that? Look at this. Do you see that right there? Do you see that right there? They know what they was doing when they designed the school system. I'm telling you, there's no coincidence that the school system is designed to make the melanated child, not even melanated, any skin complexion, is destined to make you fail. Destined. Destined to make you a worker, not a thinker. So as you can see, this says, this sedentary period of time, researchers have found that sitting 8 hours a day in a chair, that's the same amount of time high school is. Alright, so let's go. It can increase our risk of obesity, that's 1. Metabolic syndrome, that's 2. Heart disease, that's 3. That's the #1 killer in America. Heart disease. Cancer, and even death. So what are we doing sitting for 8 hours a day in a chair in a school system? Getting taught that serves us no purpose. Do you see that? That sounds to me like that's something wrong. Something is deeply, deeply wrong, bro. Deeply, deeply wrong. Have y'all seen this? Melanated female children going to ISS for just wearing cuts in their jeans? They're gonna go. You're willing to put a child in ISS or an OSS for just wearing cuts in their jeans. Dress code has to be the most control over a child I've ever seen in my entire life. They act like, I'm telling you, they act like a student is gonna come to the school butt naked. He's not doing that. Nobody's doing that. Nobody in their right mind is doing that. Nobody's doing that. But they want control over the kid while he's already sitting down for 8 hours a day with that amount of health issues. Why do they want so much control over your child? Do you see that? So let's go over this real quick. They're teaching you that you came from nothing, which is slavery. They taught you that you came from nothing. They told you that Christopher Columbus discovered America, right? Now also, they told you that breakfast is the #1 meal of the day. When really, you're not even supposed to be eating breakfast or cereal in the morning. They also lied to you financially to get you ready for the 9-to-5 work system. Now, they also lied to you scientifically, biologically, and genetically. Do you see all of this? Seems to me like they're trying to put a war right here. Right here. They're trying to screw you up mentally right here. This is why, for all my 9th graders out there, when you go into high school, you're gonna see a 12th grader just walking down the hallway looking depressed. Because he's been indoctrinated with their thoughts and their thinking ability. Because he can't think for himself because he's being so indoctrinated by that system right there. That system that he has to sit 8 hours a day in and asked to go use the bathroom. But I know there's gonna be a lot of people on this video that's probably gonna say, oh, he's probably this. He's probably at 9th grade or something. I'm in 12th grade right now. Not only am I in 12th grade, but I think it's a time where we need to start homeschooling our children, because not only, this is no disrespect to the LG, nope, no disrespect at all, but they're starting to force LGBTQ type stuff in our school. So not only does he have to get taught lies, he has to get questioned about his gender. You don't see the problem right there? That's a problem. That's a psychological problem. He's getting taught lies and he's getting questioned about his gender. Don't you see that? He's not thinking for himself. He's not thinking for himself. They want workers, not thinkers. They want workers, not thinkers. They want slaves. They want slaves, not thinkers. Telling you. So now it's a time we need to relearn everything we've been taught in the school system, because as you can see, the school system is an entire lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. I say 10% of what the school system has told you is true. And that 10% is math, because you cannot deny math. They've taught you, not 10%, I say 5% is teaching you how to write, read, and talk. And the other 5% is how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's literally all we need. All we need is the ability to write, read, think, talk, and of course, add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's it. That's all we need. I'm telling you, that's all we need. All we need. But we've been so indoctrinated. My people has been so indoctrinated by stupidity. 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 So let me tell you raw. The average melanated boy does not want to be in school right now because his soul is telling him not to be there, because his soul knows that they're telling him lies, but they're teaching him lies. And his souls already know that they're teaching him lies. And then by the time he leaves high school, he doesn't know what he wants to do. So that is why they want workers, not thinkers. Exactly. But alright, y'all. I just wanted to let y'all know that. I'll be back probably Monday. But I'll be back, y'all. Peace.